Hello everyone. My research project isn't entirely easy to understand, so I'm going to try to walk you through it bit by bit, and then I'll tell you a bit more about my experience. The claim is fairly often thrown around that people don't like what they don't trust, or what they don't understand, or that they think that what they don't understand is unfair. You know, there are a lot of claims around this line. I'm examining a very related claim, namely that people think a system they don't understand is unfair. The way I'm testing this is by having my participants play a small investment game. The game is well known often the prisoner's dilemma, which just means that there is value in not cooperating. So we've got two participants playing together, and participants can choose how many tokens they want to invest. If they invest tokens and the other player also invests tokens, these tokens are increased and then split up and redistributed back to them. The tricky thing is, if you invest tokens and the other player doesn't, you'll lose out. Because, let me give you some numbers to give you an example. If you invest 100 tokens, the other player invests 0, 100 tokens are then increased, let's say to 150, and split back, then you get 75 tokens, but the other player now has 175 tokens. So, although you were doing the good thing, you were cooperating, because the other player didn't, you lost out. But, if you want to increase your token count, then you need to cooperate. So there is this conflict between what is beneficial to both of you, but what is beneficial to just you. Why am I doing all of this? Well, what I'm changing is how well I'm explaining the rules of the game. The money isn't actual tokens, rather, aren't always split 50-50. They are sometimes split 70-30 or 30-70, depending who you are in the game. And sometimes some of the participants will see this. Some participants will see, oh, okay, I'm only getting 30% this round. Well, why should I invest then? If I invest 100 tokens and that's increased, then the other player is going to get 70% of that. Why would I do that? Some players won't see this. They will just see a complicated mathematical representation of this. So they won't actually know what's going on. I want to see how does this affect their game behavior. Are they going to cooperate less? Are they going to cooperate more? And I'm also repeatedly giving them scales measuring how fair they think the game is. Is this going to influence their perception of fairness of the game? So I've already mentioned that I'm examining this claim that what we don't understand we think to be unfair. There's sort of another thing that I'm examining here, namely, how does information transparency in a system actually play a role? A lot of studies that look at decision making always give participants all the information. They don't really change that. There isn't much research that actually looks at how does behavior change when people don't have a full picture. But that's real life. We often don't have a full picture. We often don't really know what's going on. In fact, what inspired me to do this is the idea that a lot of governmental procedures are pretty fair, but the bureaucracy is terrible and nobody understands it. So how will that affect, if people actually make use of the services that exist, if they don't understand them? How will that affect how fair they think these services are? My experience has been very good so far. I'm working together with Dr. Kortenkamp, who's been a fantastic mentor. This isn't my first research project, this is an honours project that I'm doing. Not the only honours student here. Beforehand, I've also worked together with Dr. O'Brien on a different research project, which also was a great experience. I can highly recommend getting into research. It's very rewarding, it's very fun, it's also very challenging. It's like having 5 different jobs simultaneously, but it's a great experience to have.